got news for you. I had to get started without you in there. I'm going to tell all my friends it's you I'm breaking up with. People are asking me about you. Hey, Lucky, breaking up with your mama. Clayton, what's up, man? Nancy, hey, I need to get us some light, I feel like. Hold tight. Hold tight. I can't tell if that makes it better or worse. Seeing everybody get on here. I hope everybody's having a great night. I hope this topic is not too disappointing to you or too upsetting. Coach Woodall. Now, before we get started, I will let everybody know I've got my sidekick, Brother Woodall, on here who is going to help me articulate a lot of this. So, you down with GTT? You know me. Brad Elam, what's up, buddy? I've talked to you about breakups. One of the gifts I feel like I have is helping people like Lucky get through a breakup. We're about to get started. My sidekick, a.k.a. Brittany Rene, is changing clothes. She just got home. She brought me dinner. Brad, how are you, friend? Ben Wood, my man, how are you? Hope everybody's having a great night. I hope you're all over this weather. I don't know about you, but I'm ready. I'm ready for some warm weather. All right, everybody. Hey, I'm GoodTimeTommy, hashtag GTT if you don't know me. Tommy Davidson. I'm a real estate agent in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, but I'm on a mission to build the biggest brand that I can, GoodTimeTommy.com. The purpose of this show, Straight from the Gut, is if I could go back and tell myself what I know now at 30 years old, how grateful I would be. I wish I knew then what I know now. And some of the things that I've learned from my past have come through challenging times. They've come through breakups. A buddy of mine was in my office today, and this is where the idea came to me. I believe I have a unique ability to help people get through very, very, very challenging times, Brittany Rene. Hey, we didn't break up. She's here, by the way.
I'm here.
I really feel like I got a gift that can help people understand what they're going through. I believe I can help them. And the reason why I believe this is because I had a great coach that helped me get through this one time. Tony Woodall, who is on here, was somebody that helped me get through one of the worst times in my life. Hey, Tiffany, how are you? Tony was kind of like my co-pilot in my life. When I say a co-pilot in my life, I mean he was with me literally every single day. Somehow, some way, I would find a way to get proximity to Tony. And since I was living with my mom at the time, it was very easy for me to get out of the house and go see Brother Woodall. So I learned some valuable lessons during this time. And I'm a teacher at heart. I really, really, really like to teach people. The only person I can't teach is this guy right here. That's the only person I have found I do. I don't do a good job. Look at his teeth. Hey, I appreciate the likes, the comments, the share. I'd love it if you'd share my stream. Again, I'm trying to build a brand where 150,000 people know me. And the only way I can get more known is if I have people that believe in me, that like what I'm doing. Jackson Frost.
I shared.
Thank you. Jackson Frost, I'd love for you to come to my office one day and talk. I don't know exactly what your plan is, but I'd love for you to come in there and chat with me. Hey, Carrie Ann's here. So I'm going to talk about some things that were very, very, and people are asking questions I can't see very well. So would you help me out, baby?
Yeah.
Tony Woodall, see.
We have been through more breakups than anyone else.
Me and Tony broke up a few times we'd get together and break up. But I feel like I can make this very simple. and give you an understanding and awareness. The hard part of a breakup is always the coping with, always the pain. How me and Tony Woodall used to call it medicine. Whenever we're in so much pain, we would self-medicate.
Right.
And a lot of people would medicate by drinking. But another way an individual may medicate whenever they're going through a breakup is they immediately go find another overnight partner, if you know what I'm talking about. They're looking for these quick fixes.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So me and Brother Woodall, we'd get together and say, boy, you out looking for your medicine? Hey, I saw you at the drugstore. You had your little mustache on. You didn't want anybody to see you. But that's really what people will do whenever they're trying to get through these breakups is they'll try to numb the pain.
What is that called? I was talking about it earlier. What do you call somebody that you date right after you get out of a relationship?
A rebound.
Rebound.
A rebound.
Rebound. There it is. It's been driving me crazy all day.
What's an overnight partner? You know what they are. You know what they are, Tank Whitaker.
A snuggle buddy.
Whatever you want to call them. But see, I had these beliefs as I was going through my breakup, what I needed to do. And now, if I tell you what they are, a lot of people are probably going to be like, hell no, I ain't doing all that. So let's get started. And anybody with any questions, Brittany Rene is going to have to see them and answer them because I can't see very good. I'm blind. All right, number one.
Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks. A lot of people are saying I'm looking like Tom Hanks. God.
Maybe it's, just the
Maybe it's because I'm getting ugly, old and ugly.
You're not getting ugly. Stop.
Well, whatever. Hey, number one, you've got to invest first in yourself. And when I'm talking about investing in yourself, I'm talking about the whole person theory, the mind, the body, the heart, the spirit. You've got to fulfill every single part of your body. Hey, my mama's on here. When I was going right after my breakup, I moved in with my mama. She finally got rid of me. But one of the things that the pain of that breakup, what it did is it started to activate a better life. It made me explore my potential. It made me dig in and find ways to get better. I started going to the gym more often. Hey, I was fat. I lost weight. Got to do it again, by the way.
Starting tomorrow.
I constantly read. I constantly was watching people on YouTube. I was always trying to find a way to improve my life because my mama told me at an early age, and my grandmother, they told me you can't depend on other people. And going through these breakups, the reason why you're so hurt, why you're in so much pain, is because of that other person.
Right.
Now, I'm not saying that as you find. Look, I depend on you. I'm not saying that you can't go throughout life without depending on people. But the reason why these breakups hurt so bad is by the loss, and usually it hurts more for the person that was broken up on.
Right.
Because I feel like we're more motivated. We're more motivated by losing something than gaining something. So let's just say if you're sick and tired of me and I broke up with you.
Get out of here.
Yeah, I think the fact that I broke up with you would probably hurt you more.
Even if I was sick of you.
Yeah, because I think there's a part of us that we're motivated by you taking things away from us. It motivates us. In the book, Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss, what he talks about is people are much more likely to be intrigued by something that's being taken away from them as opposed to you potentially giving them something. Right. So you got to invest in you.
Yep.
One of the things.
Can I interject?
Please.
Okay. So I feel obviously we continue to grow as people.
Yeah.
As life goes on, the older you get, yada yada. And I think that's why a lot of people drift apart because some people want to continue to grow, whereas some people are just content with where they are. And I feel that why it's so important for you to find yourself after a breakup and who you truly are and who you truly want to become is because a lot of times in your relationship you are stuck being somebody that you may not be. Maybe you have more potential and that person was not allowing you to really shine. and reach your fullest potential. And so your confidence is low. You really just have to take that time to
That's a great analogy.
really find yourself.
Hey, Tyler, how are you, buddy? It's kind of like if you put a little fish in a little bitty fish bowl, they can't outgrow their environment.
Right.
People do the same thing to you. You know, you get around certain people, people can hold you back. Your partners can hold you back. I completely. So you've got to focus a lot of your time, your effort, your energy. You've got to put a lot of your purpose into yourself, because we believe around here, where your purpose goes, energy flows. Number two, I believe you got to become very independent. And that's hard for people because, again, I think a lot of them, whenever that's over, they're immediately looking to replace that. They're immediately trying to bring somebody in.
Codependency. Like they just...
Who said that?
No, me.
Oh, Brittany Rene. Well, Lucky, you need to go to the bathroom. So what happens is there is codependency. But me and Brother Woodall were talking about this. After I went through this breakup, I made a deal with myself that I was going to go 90 days without contact of another woman. 90 days, no contact, no...
Did you make it 90?
Oh, well, yeah. Hey, what was unfortunate is I probably made it like 150.
Is that when you met me?
No.
Oh.
This is a
Way
long
before
time ago.
me.
Yeah, this is way before you. You're probably still in high school whenever I was doing this.
Oh.
But I made this commitment to myself that I was not going to allow me to get emotionally wrapped up with another woman, whatever you want to say. So I wanted to prove to myself I had that discipline. Mm-hmm. Because in the past, what I would do whenever I was in that situation is me and Woodall were saying, is I'd go out and get the mustache. And I'd go to the drugstore to get my medicine. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Overnight partner.
That's exactly right.
Hey, baby.
Ooh. Well, God, I look so fat. I wish we had this. Wish we could read. It's a bad angle, everybody. I'm not as fat as I look. What's Brother Woodall saying?
That one night at Reef saying.
That's right. You know, that's the first thing that most people want to do whenever they go through a breakup is immediately replace that person with whatever they can find. But again, as I was talking to my buddy this morning, so often we're trying to replace or reproduce that image that we wanted with that last partner, because usually if you're going through a breakup, there's a lot of things that obviously didn't work, but
right.
There was still an image that we hoped for. I've got this. One day this over here is going to get better, which it probably never does. So you've got to, whenever you go through these breakups, you have got to make sure that you're rebuilding yourself. See, I don't think that just time alone will get you there. You've got to come back. You've got to build your strength back up. You've got to do things that are going to make you a stronger, more independent person. Because what if you were to find a person and you go through the same thing again? You've got to build the whole person up. So one of the things that I want to do in my relationship with homegirl back here is my job is to make her become the best girl she can. Not make her, but I need to inspire her to become the best person, the best girlfriend, the best mama, the best whatever it is she wants to be. I need to be her biggest cheerleader. Number 3, do you have any questions back there?
No, but back to what you were saying about it's not just time, it's about what you do during that time.
Yep.
It just goes to show that, quality is way better than quantity. It's not about the quantity of minutes or hours or days, it's the quality, the things that you put into those hours and minutes and days that make a difference.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, because if you were to have met me right after one of those breakups at one of those lows, the only way I would have kept you is if you were at a similar spot, if you were at a low spot yourself.
Right.
We
would have just fed off of each other like little vampires.
We're going to get to that here, because Woodall gave me this example. Number 3, I think you've got to become extremely aware of instant gratification.
Oh yeah.
And here's what I'm talking about. Not necessarily the overnight meetings, as we'll call them, the overnight stays. The instant gratification. Sometimes whenever you're going through these breakups, you've got to completely eliminate these people from your life. You can't reach out to them. You can't try to have a relationship where I want to get you back. Do you see what I'm saying? And sometimes What I'm talking about on this instant gratification is people want to numb the pain. They want to do something to where they don't hurt so bad. Their confidence is down. They're trying to do anything they possibly can to not feel that pain anymore. Some people, it may be they're trying to get proximity to their last partner. They call them, they text them, or what we were saying, they go out, they try to find.
Tony said outsourcing.
I'm outsourcing my emotions, my feelings, my emotions. So you've got to really get a plan to where mine was. I'm serious as Woodall. I went 90 days. Actually, I went on a real cold streak after that. I went on a real cold streak after I decided I'm going 90 days without any women in my life. It turned into maybe 100.
Like that movie.
Which one?
40 Days and 40 Nights.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that what it is? Where you're supposed to
with
go
Josh
that
Hartnett?
Yes.
Yeah.
Without having overnight partners.
Yeah, but I was never in his position because he couldn't walk out of a church without a girl. But I really, in my 90-day cleanse, my 90-day fast, whatever you want to call it, I didn't even talk to girls. I wasn't even having, I was talking to my girl buddies, but I actually was not talking to any what's my mama saying?
Your mama says, that's what Mom said. I knew you were capable of more than what you were not producing.
Okay. What's Brother Woodall saying?
Except for Mama and Granny. That was the women in your life at that time.
Yeah. Hey, why was I looking for the women I was looking for? Okay, so invest in yourself. That's step one after a breakup. Completely 100% commit to yourself. Number two is you've got to become very independent. Very, very independent. Step three is become aware of instant gratification. Instant gratification leads you from one bad decision to another bad decision. I don't know how often I see people get out of a relationship and because of the pain they're in, they're right back in something else. How often do you see it?
Yeah. More times.
Or more importantly, they get out of a relationship and they're on a damn mission. They're hunting to find that next partner because they're lonely. They've got a little bit of pain. David Ross, I see you on here, friend. Hey, she didn't leave me after last time.
Hey, not yet.
Not yet.
To be continued.
But think about if it's you, and it's okay because we've all been here. I was there. Think about this. If you've got you or a friend or somebody you know, they go through a breakup and you're trying to set them up, or they're talking to you about getting set up, or they get on these apps out there that help you hook up. These hook up Tinder.
Tinder,
Bumble. They get on. See, I always tell my friends to get off that stuff. You need to eliminate that from your thought process. You don't even need to think about this stuff because what you're doing is you're empowering something else over yourself. Number 4, this was one of the most profound things that Brother Woodall helped me with. And I guarantee you, Brother Woodall probably does not even remember doing this. We were at the Scottish Glen Model one day, and he came out there. This was after he had already come out there. And he asked me a question about what does the woman you want to be with look like? And he wasn't talking from a physical standpoint. He was talking about what would this woman look like if you were to write down her characteristics, her qualities. So he had me write down on a side of a piece of paper the characteristics that I'd want of a woman. And I would go through there and I would write down the things that I wanted or the things that I was interested in. I would write them out. Well, I don't really remember at the time what they were.
So what would they be now? Me?
Well, you're...
Brittany Rene?
Brittany Rene.
Hey, all you got to do is write Brittany Rene now, huh?
What did David Ross say, 38 to 24? I didn't do age. I really was writing down like...
No, those are the measurements.
Oh. See, hey, I'm so behind. So, I was really writing down the things that I wanted in the person. Okay, now...
he said she knows the apps. She's thinking about it.
She knows that.
I have single friends.
She's probably on there right now. Just kidding.
Hey,
but honestly, one of my insecurities, I think that I had to overcome is I'm a shallow guy. You know, I'm looking for a girl that looks a certain way. That's very shallow, isn't it?
Shallow how?
I'm shallow how? You know, I'm that guy. But that is an insecurity of mine. Somehow, some way, I feel better about me if I'm dating. Hey, if I'm married. Hey, we're going to talk about marriage. If I'm with a good-looking girl, that is a very, very shallow thing. And Woodall corrected that. But I'm writing down these things. And that was on the right-hand side. And then on the left-hand side, he said, are you all of these things? Are you, if you want a confident woman, are you a confident man? If you want a generous woman, are you a generous man? He started asking me all these things, and it got me thinking. I'm like, well, hell no. But I want that in a woman. How can you justify you're going to get that if you're not that? Like attracts like is what he was telling me.
Right.
So what I'm really going to attract is where I was at that time in my life. I was at a very low, selfish, self-gratifying position in my life. And guess what? Guess what kind of women I kept finding?
Tramps.
Well, I was finding women that were also looking for the same things. So if I was selfish, I was attracting selfish people into my life. If I was really, and this is really bad to say, but if I was looking for girls to use them, hey, for one thing, maybe.
Overnight partners.
Whatever you want to call it, they were probably looking for the same thing, even though these girls, their overnight thing may not have matched my overnight. Mom, hey, Mom, we need to get you off here.
Let's back up, though, because we had some comments from the audience.
All right.
Heather, she said, it took me several months of soul searching and realizing my worth before I was open to going on a date. Very thankful for that time I took to myself and spent mother-son time with Aiden. It led me to Jeremy. Best decision ever.
Okay, Heather. If you would have gone out with Jeremy, like during your broken state, what would that have been like?
They probably wouldn't be where they're at now.
And hey, here's one of the things I am going to brag on because of people like Woodall that helped me, because I was a very, very broken person at 36 years old. And when I'm saying broken, I'm talking about every form of broke when it comes to what's your language, Mama? Tony, can you call my mom and get her to calm down? So at 36, I'm very broken. I'm broken financially. I'm broken spiritually. My confidence is completely gone. So I didn't have very much belief in myself at all. But luckily, Woodall taught me something that's always, it's a gift that he's given me that's priceless, because I'll always know how to do this. No matter how bad times get, no matter what happens, I know that my confidence manifests from inside. It has nothing to do with what's going on out here. It has nothing to do with other people. It all manifests inside me. So whenever I'm running low on confidence, and we all have times where we run low on confidence. You know, my confidence has been shaken this week. It's been jolted this week because some things didn't go my way. And the only way I know how to get my confidence back is to get back into improving myself. As a matter of fact, Brittany Rene got mad at me last night because I was trying to improve myself. And
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
See, I didn't tell you that. I didn't tell you that my confidence has been shaken this past week. I didn't tell you things didn't go my way and things that I've been counting on. I've lost a lot of faith in it. So now the only thing I know is to turn to something that makes me feel better about me. But what I'm getting at as I'm rambling is Brittany Rene is a lot younger than me. She's like 42 years younger than me. And even early in our relationship, because I really do believe Woodall helped me get to a strong point. And I think you're at a strong point. But I think that if you would have been dating me when I was at a weak spot, I think our relationship would have been a lot more poisonous. I think it would have been a lot worse.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that?
Yeah.
So thanks to me and my superior. What are you writing down there? What's David Ross? Is that a carrot?
Carrots. 3 carrots.
Ah,
He
3
said
carrots.
You're not acknowledging his comment about
I can't
3 carat ring.
I can't see. You know what? Between us, 50 people on here. We did go ring shopping Monday. I took her ring shopping Monday.
We went looking.
We went looking, so. But,
I did try a 3.5 carat ring on too.
Yeah, she did.
He said he liked that one the best.
No. The one I liked the best was really small. But what I was talking about are these charts. You've got to become what it is you want to be with. So if I want to be with a very, very, like, let's name, if we were talking about your characteristics, what would they be?
My characteristics?
Yeah.
Compassionate.
Am I compassionate?
Yes.
Okay.
Very.
Okay.
Driven.
Okay. That was something that was very important to me. Was a driven woman.
Right.
And when I noticed her drive, it made me more attracted to her. So yes. Am I driven?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Keep going.
What's everybody saying?
I don't know.
Patient. She's patient.
Okay, well I'm not. I'm the most impatient person.
I'm not patient.
No, she's not patient.
No.
No, that probably wasn't high on my list, to be patient.
I'm patient when I absolutely have to be, when it's important to be.
She's patient when she ain't got no choice.
Right. Because in this situation I don't.
So what I'm getting at is we're writing down over here all the things that I want in somebody.
Right.
Over here. And Tony told me, well, hey, dude, you're not going to get this until you align with that. Mm-hmm. So if I'm saying I want a strong, independent, driven woman, if you're looking over here at me, she's probably...
But you don't like when I'm independent sometimes. Sometimes you think that I'm too independent and it interferes with me allowing you to, be head of household.
Yeah, I do think at times you probably do challenge too much what you should. I do. You're right.
Mm-hmm. So you didn't necessarily want to...
No, but it makes me respect you more. So sometimes you don't understand that you might lose a little battle, but it's helping you win the war. So I like how independent. I like that. So number 5, we can come back to any of these if you'd like. Number 5, goal-oriented. Hey, will you cover up? So moving along, number 5, and this is one of there's 2 hard things in my life that I've had to deal with as far as myself. And Woodall said this, believing in yourself. That is one of the hardest things that you're ever going to do is believing in yourself. So you've got to stick to this belief when you're sitting there and you're lonely or you're in pain or you're trying any way possible to remove that pain.
Right.
You've got to continue to believe in yourself. You can't allow other people to say things because what Tony said is confidence, belief in yourself. All that stuff comes from inside. You manifest all this stuff yourself. So do you have any questions? I've been rambling for 28 straight minutes, baby. Do you have any questions
You've been on
about the 5 things that I've talked about?
Well,
Anything, I'm an open book.
Oh, I know you are. Well, what else was on your list? You didn't want to go into detail because you said you didn't remember.
I don't remember.
I'm curious.
I don't remember. You can ask me 15 different ways, but I don't remember what I wrote down during that time.
Oh.
Hey.
Hey.
No, I don't remember. I mean, during that time, he asked me, and it wasn't something that I carried around with me. It was just something that I wrote down during that 5-minute thing. Give me something else. Blake Kelly. How did I meet Brittany Rene? I met her. She was in real estate as well.
Do you want to talk about specifics?
You can say. I think I met her probably 2 years ago. I'd say it's probably been 2 years ago.
Did you pursue me?
Did you pursue me or did I pursue you?
You pursued me. You called me FaceTime when you were downtown one day.
And
I didn't even have your number.
I'm a FaceTimer though.
But what's crazy about this is we
people.
didn't even ever talk on the phone yet. He got my number, had to have gotten off Facebook, FaceTime me. I get a FaceTime from some number I don't even recognize, so of course I don't answer. It was this guy.
It was me.
It was this guy. Drunk downtown somewhere, probably.
Well, you don't have to tell my people that.
Well, he was having Sunday fun day. You know, he deserves a day to... It was on a Sunday.
No, I did that before. It was probably on a Friday.
Oh. Anyway, that's where it all began.
So I really do believe, like, one of my gifts is to, I don't know how many people, how many past clients. Hey, there's my best friend on there. I don't know how many of my past clients or friends have come in and I've helped them get clarity on their position in their relationship. I believe I can help you understand what you need to do to get through these tough times. The problem is this. Your emotions, man, your emotions are in so much control. That's why I'm talking about instant gratification. You've got to slow your emotions down during this time. And it is so hard to do that. Your emotions become so powerful. They overtake your life. They make the decisions for you. How many of you guys have been through a breakup?
I'm sure 98%.
Well, maybe not everybody. I need to break up with food. Hey, Roy, tomorrow you'll see me. I'm back on. You can go ahead and order my Skinny Boy breakfast tomorrow. Hey, my insurance guy's on here, the best in the business, Roy Frazier, my guy. But how many of you have been in a breakup, or you're going through a breakup? You're trying to get rid of them. You're trying to get that out of your mind. You're trying to get your mind to move past it. But you have those slip-ups. You have those slip-ups in a moment of weakness. Hey, maybe you're out drinking. Maybe you're just home alone. Maybe you saw them on Facebook with another boy or girl, and your emotions get you. You send that text. You send them something. You ever do that? I'm going to send
I'm going to show them.
Well, you're going to do something. You're going to do something to where you reach out to them, and here's what I believe. I believe it sets you back. You got to go through the damn grieving process all over again. Maybe you talk a little bit. Maybe you meet up. Maybe you do something. But all it does is it sets you up for another disappointment, because usually the outcome has already been decided.
Right.
You know, the outcome, but your emotions get you back into, get you back on the medicine. What about losing a job? Are you talking about how I would get over a job? Because I think I could tell people the best way to get a new job. If that's what you're talking about, Jim.
So it's not the same advice as a breakup, because you don't want to go get yourself a new boy.
No, but hey, I would say this: if you go through losing a job, who are you over there texting? Who you texting? Here's the first thing I would tell somebody: it's 1:15. The first thing I would do if I went through a job loss is I would invest in myself. The best thing
that happened to me was losing a job.
Well, I wonder if the first thing you did, Jim, is went to work on yourself. Here's what I see people doing whenever they're trying to get a job that just does not make sense to me, is let's say they've got a job, but what they're doing is they're constantly looking for a job. Here's where they are. This is where their current skill level is. But they're looking for these jobs that are up here. They're trying to find these better jobs. But what they're not doing is they're not putting themselves in a skill position to where they can get those jobs.
Right.
So if they were to get that job, they wouldn't be able to keep it because they're not ready. So what I would tell everybody to do is go to work on your skills. I believe the number one thing you can do is work on your sales skills. I don't care what you do. Every single person on here, every single person in life is in sales, because in life, you're always trying to get what you want. Mm-hmm. And that requires sales.
Yep.
Very wise. Thank you, Laura. Hey.
Very wise indeed.
I'll see David S. is on here. My buddy. I can't see. Same.
Brad said, same here. Losing a job was the best thing that happened to me. And now he's killing it. Killing it, Brad.
Well, you know, so often, no matter what it is, we do not want to deal with pain. And even if You've got a job that you know this ain't what I want. You got a relationship, you know it ain't what you want. But what you don't want to deal with is the actual punch of the pain. So what you'll do is you'll prolong it. I know I don't want to be with them, but I'm just, whatever. I know I don't want this job, but you stay there. The reason why you stay there is you do not want to acknowledge the pain. You don't want to feel it. So what you're doing is
Not only that, I feel like sometimes people just get comfortable and they're afraid of change. Scarcity mindset.
Well, here's what I believe.
Like, how am I going to be without them? How am I going to be without this job? You always have this scarcity mindset. Like, what's going to happen?
Well, that's what it actually does. You're not aware of this, but the longer you stay in those situations with a job you don't want or a relationship that you don't want, what it actually does, it builds more insecurity.
Right.
It's building more and more insecurity, and you're not even aware of it. All you think you're doing is protecting yourself. Well, really what you're doing is you're making yourself more insecure. Hey, I want to see the brother Woodall.
Losing who I thought I was is the best thing that ever happened to me. Humiliating and wonderful.
Ooh. Brother Woodall, I'm so glad you stayed on here for 36 minutes. Tony Woodall has probably been the most influential person in my emotional intelligence that I've ever dealt with. Do you know what that means? I don't even know if I know exactly what it means, but there's an intelligence quotient, but then there's also an emotional intelligence. And Tony Woodall has been my teacher, my mentor in helping me understand emotional intelligence. And I believe that is a great gift, by the way. Great gift. Hey, John, Roll Tide. Tony Woodall's a big Tide fan.
IQ and EQ.
Mm-hmm. That's right, Blake. They're two separate things, Do you have any more questions for me, baby? Anything?
No.
You're drinking the rough stuff tonight. Well, hey, I'm very dependent upon you asking me questions to make me look good.
Well, baby, I feel like I've asked you quite a bit. I've been very engaging this evening. Wouldn't you guys agree?
Maybe. Hey, Heather Blair. I see you on here. But give me something else.
Are you going to sleep? Go to sleep at 7:30 tonight?
I did go to bed so early last night. I was very
Well, you
tired.
started to tell people that I got upset with you last night, but you didn't go into detail. You didn't say anything. You just said that I was mad at you for trying to better yourself.
Well, I was saying that to be funny. Inside joke between me and you and them.
I'm your producer.
She is, but, the reason why I do this is one thing that keeps me and her connected. I like to share this with her. What's my mama, Hey Doug, saying?
That is J.O.B., a wealthy man living in a land called UZ. Tony knows him. Stay focused, right from the left and right. Hug her and kiss her. Stay focused, you two.
Yeah.
Hug and kiss me.
Do you guys have any more questions? Have I made this clear?
There are a lot of studies that say EQ is more important to long-term success than IQ.
Blake, I 100% agree with that. I would much rather have an emotional intelligence rather than just an intelligence. Most definitely.
Tony Woodall says, Tommy, anybody can run their mouth like me, but you did the hard work, buddy. Congratulations for your life.
That means a lot because two people have been very influential. Tony, very influential in my, I'm going to be honest, the way I used to react, the way I did relationships, I had no self-control of my thought, of my words, of my actions. And then still sometimes she sees this come up. Mm-hmm. Where I do things, I say things where it later puts me in a position to, I'm sorry. That is kind of how I'm wired. But I do believe if you can put awareness to that and you can put focus on changing that, you can get better. Now, it's not something that I'm naturally gifted at because I am a reaction type of a person.
Right.
But, Tony, that means a lot to me because I had to fight to overcome that. That was something that was very, very challenging for me to get past.
Well, it's very rare when it happens, but I will say this. I'm probably at fault just because in the heat of being upset, I think I try to push his buttons.
You do?
And I know what pushes his buttons.
You try to push my buttons?
I feel like I do when I'm angry with you. And that's what kind of puts you into a situation where the old you kind of comes out from time to time.
Well, I'll blame you the next. Is it easy to push my buttons?
No.
Because I feel like if it's easy for you to push my buttons, it's my problem and it's not yours.
It's not easy. And I think that's the thing. I've just, we don't really, I don't know how to describe it. I mean, he doesn't get rattled easily. So
That's why it probably works.
It works me though, because like I feel like, well, if he's not getting rattled, then he must not care about this topic. So then I try to push your buttons to get you to care.
Or maybe there needs to be a calm there where you don't get even more mad.
Right.
So what you're saying, if I heard that correctly, is my high emotional intelligence, Blake, helps us not fall apart.
Probably. I'll give you that.
Well, I believe.
Well, I'm a very emotional person.
Well, I think that comes back to investing in yourself.
Right.
What else? I think that's where it comes back. Is you got to really invest.
Your notes over there.
I do. Mary Beth. Hey, was it you or did she say she hated this topic tonight? One of them said that.
Yes.
Mary Beth, why do you not like this topic?
She said it was terrible. Maybe it's because it tricked people into thinking you were.
Oh no, I'm
broken.
No.
That I left you broken.
But because of what you're saying, I do feel like if you were to say something to me and it causes an outrage, I believe that's more my fault.
Ben Dotson, when is the session on proposals?
I don't know, Ben. Hey, man, I hope you're doing all right, Ben. I've been thinking about you guys, by the way. Well, you know what? I couldn't propose on here. I thought about that.
People have thought that.
I have thought about that, but I'm going to say this, because one of my advisors on the situation has helped me. There's a person that I know that's very, very similar to her, and she's helped me have some clarity on how the moment should be her moment. And I don't want to bring a stage or an audience. I think that would be the wrong thing to do, because I did have it planned out already, but I'm glad it didn't work out. Dr. Bill Maddox, my man, how are you doing, buddy? So I already have the moment planned, or the way it's going to go down. I do know how it's going to be.
When is it?
I don't know.
Tell me.
I can't tell you.
Give me a hint.
It's going to be in 14 days. I'm not going to tell you. It's got to be a surprise, but it's going to be a surprise to where it's only a surprise between me, you, and one other person, probably.
Lucky?
Yep, Lucky.
Lucky knows.
Hey, Fast Hands is on here.
Fast Hands!
So is there anything else? Hey, you get me in these vulnerable positions to where you know, I'm like Ron Burgundy, I'll say anything. Is there anything else you want to ask me? So for you people that have just gotten on here, there's 5 ways, I believe. Am I loud?
No. I'm just having some wardrobe malfunctions back here. Tell us how you were going to propose.
Ryan Mudd, I can't do that. But I do know how it's going to be.
Why?
Because it's something that I came up with.
No. How you were going to propose.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You told me this.
I don't want to say.
I'll go ahead and say. Can I say?
No, because it didn't happen. There's no sense.
It's okay. Somebody advised you not to do that. And I'm glad he didn't. Can we say?
Yeah, you can say.
Okay. So for anybody that thought it was going to happen at the GTT Bash, it was at one point going to happen at the GTT Bash. He was going to call me up on the stage.
Yeah, I have a Thanksgiving party. I don't know how many of you guys came there, but I was going to propose at that event, but I decided, well, like probably 2 weeks before, I couldn't do it. I do know that would have probably been cool, but
well, I wouldn't have been able to hear him. One, and it would have been loud and muffled, and it wasn't really an intimate situation.
Well, the next one
you'd been drinking, and I mean, it just.
The next one is going to be. The next one will be. It's going to be different. Jim McCarthy, I do need you to come by the office. There's some things I want to talk to you about. Hey, Jeffrey Baker. How are you doing, Jeffrey Baker? Any more questions before I get? It's about my bedtime. Me and Brittany Rene we've been watching a show. Does anybody on here watch Longmire? A Western show. Longmire. Does anybody? Roy Fraser, if you're still on here, I cannot get her to. I can't get her to watch it.
Who did your trim work, crown molding?
We bought this house after somebody had been living in it. But what this is, Blake, if you want to know, it's just a Craftsman style trim that matches those cabinets back there. So anybody can do that trim style. It's just a Craftsman style. It's flat. It's more modern trim instead of that big bulky stuff. It's squared off. It's one of the things I like most about this house. It's one of the first things that caught my eye. She would like pole dark.
What's that?
What does that mean?
It must be a show.
Do you remember pole dark? We'll look into that. Do you remember what stood out to you when we came in here the first time?
I loved the layout more than anything. I loved
there
how
wasn't
open
one
it was.
thing though that just kind of.
The outside area. Okay. I just wish we could enjoy it more when it's cold. It's just so cold out there. What about you?
I think the first thing when I walked in here and I saw that kitchen and how open everything was. All right,
That's
what
what I said, baby.
Hey, Mikey Whitaker.
What does that say?
I can't see good.
Hold on.
What's the price of egg in China? We are karaoke tomorrow. If you're not on Facebook. My mom's doing karaoke night.
Where?
I don't know.
On Facebook. It will be on Facebook.
It will be on Facebook. Well, hey, we've been going about 47 minutes.
Hey, I remember when her and Doug did karaoke up at my shop. Remember that? Singing Chris Stapleton.
All right, do we have any more questions before we shut it down? Garrett.
Hi, Tommy. What's the secret to finding the right one versus a tough breakup? Ha ha. I think I missed your 5 tips for going through breakups.
Garrett, the most important thing about finding the right person is you've got to become the right person first. So the 5 tips I said where you got to first, pretty much any time after something challenging, you got to invest in you. And I'm not necessarily saying spending money. I'm saying spending time on you getting better. Number 2 is you got to become very independent. After I went through this breakup, 90 days, no female companionship. 0. Other than girls that I was friends with, I would talk to them. But I did not have any interaction with a girl. Number 3,
like Bill Clinton.
You've got to become aware of instant gratification. You've got to stop. You've got to delay instant gratification. You've got to put things off. You've got to make sure you're not in a position to, what you really got to do is you just got to deal with the pain. You can't give in to the temptation. Deal with the pain. Dealing with pain makes you a much stronger person. Number 4 is, this would be good for you. Whenever I was talking to Tony Woodall about the kind of woman I wanted, Garrett, he told me to draw a line on the sheet of paper, and on the right, write down the things that you wanted with that girl. What did you want her to look like? And he didn't say physically, but what was her makeup? What was her characteristics? What was it about her that you liked? And then he said on the other side, ask yourself, do you match those? Is that something that you have? Are you all of these things right here? So you've got to be what they are before. You've got to become that person first. And the 5th thing that's very, very hard is you've got to you've got to believe in yourself, which is so hard because so many things come into your life. Really, how often do we get what we want? We usually don't. We've got to believe in ourselves. Christy, Brittany Rene, I'm coming to shop. Ooh, Dr. Morgan's coming to Ryan Mudd.
Are you going to be in town?
They're going to get a better one, Ryan Mudd.
Hey, what are you coming here for, Christy? Because I know that, I didn't even tell you this, but I RSVP'd for all the stuff in Feb for Monster Producer, including the Monster Couples. Is the 6th.
Shane Ray, the Big Kahuna.
I'm excited to meet you, Christy. I've heard a lot about you.
Hey, we're going out there to the 10X Growth Con. She'll be there. She's like a superstar out there.
That's awesome.
Very true. Very true. All right. Thanks, Tommy. Appreciate those tips to look for. Hey, Garrett, it's something you got to commit yourself to. I mean, you really, really.
Yes.
What did she ask?
February 2nd. That's the one I'm going to. I'll be at the 9 o'clock.
But I think really what the most important thing that you can be is you've got to work on things that are going to help you become more confident, believing in yourself. So believing in yourself, I do think that is something that it's so hard, and so often we put too much of our self-esteem into other people, and that's why whenever you're going through these painful times, you've got to really eliminate. You've got to show yourself that you can live without that.
Right.
You cannot be needy. Can't be needy.
Man up.
Yeah, I did know that, Ryan Mudd. I think old Harry's a good coach, but he's had some great players there. All right, guys, my throat's about to go out. Every Thursday night, 7 o'clock, we do this. It's very special to me because one of the reasons why I do this is I'm always trying to build awareness. And whenever I talk about things that I really struggle with, it helps me stay on top of that. Mm-hmm. Are you looking at how fat I am right now?
No, I'm admiring how attractive you are.
Amen. Whitney, how are you doing, girl?
Hey, she just texted me and I didn't get to read it yet.
Well, that's why you've got to make sure that you put yourself you've got to make you the best version of you whenever that person comes into your life. So think about this. Whenever Brittany Rene, whenever she started chasing me, that's what we'll say anyway. But whenever we met, I was on my game. I was pretty good. And I'm not talking about my game of picking her up. I'm talking about my life. My life was going pretty good. Would you say?
Yeah.
I mean, so that goes back to this though, making good decisions, which is when you've got to delay instant gratification. You've got to think about this. If you had to make a decision that might be 2 years worth of work, are you willing to fight through it and do it? So I was putting myself in position for Brittany Rene when I was 36 years old. I just didn't know it.
Well, and Blake Kelly, one of his questions was, did you ask me out immediately?
No. Nope.
We were best friends for 2 weeks.
We were best friends for 2 weeks. But I didn't know at the time, because I'm going to say this. Whenever I met Brittany, I was still in that phase where I got to get better at who I am. I don't have enough to offer a woman yet. So I was very protective of me during that time. Would you agree with that?
Very short-lived.
Whatever.
Baby.
I was very protective because I didn't really want to get...
I feel like we moved quickly. We developed feelings for one another really quickly.
But I didn't want a relationship because there was still so many things I felt like I needed to do before I could be a good partner for somebody, for you. So I went to work, Garrett, if you're still on here, I went to work on Brittany when I was 36 years old. That was 8 years ago. She was not in my life, but what I did is I was creating an image. I was creating a life in advance. I didn't know what was going to happen, but I'm not a perfect person, but I'm perfect for our situation. I'm perfect for what Brittany's looking for. Wouldn't you say? Mm-hmm. So right now, Garrett, you could get to work on your life to where you are building your life right now, but it may not happen for 4 or 5 years. Are you patient enough to do this? Or are you going to give in to instant gratification? Next thing you know, you're dating somebody that you shouldn't be dating, where your life cannot become as fulfilled as it should be. So I believe people need to make much better decisions on who they date. Because who you date, like you were talking about earlier, baby, who you date can have a profound effect on you. On you. You can be that little bitty fish in that little bitty fish bowl. Your life can't get any bigger because the person you're dating has a tiny little fish bowl and you're just so small. So right. Don't give in. Have higher standards for yourself. I can talk about this stuff pretty much. Hey, look at my mom.
It's Douglas.
Kiss her again. Hey, that sounds like
Kiss
something.
Kiss the girl, Little Mermaid.
Speaking the truth of where I am. Well, hey, man, Garrett, wherever you're at, it's time to make a true accountability. It's okay to be honest inside your little head and just ask yourself, grade yourself where you are on things that are important to you. And I'm a big believer in the whole person. That's the mind, the body, the heart, the spirit. How is your, the ocean is yours. So ask yourself, do a little check. I like to ask myself questions all the time because I really want to build awareness. Like my confidence, to be honest, took a little bit of a jolt this week. I really got down on myself. I really started to second guess a lot of my decisions, a lot of things that they didn't go my way. And believe it or not, we're all insecure people. And if you're not an insecure person, you're probably a very, very stagnant person. Have you ever thought about that, baby? You know, driven people are very insecure. Mm-hmm. They don't want to admit it. It's such a bad stigma to be called insecure, but insecure is a great thing because it's probably pushing you towards something.
Did you see that video I posted today, that message from Will Smith?
Nope.
It was actually really powerful, and he talks about
how
you should never do anything without expecting failure, because the most successful people obviously encounter failure, and it's from that failure that they learn.
I agree with that. I don't look at failure as anything other than education. It's just teaching me something. All right, guys, unless there's any more questions, I'm going to shut it down. I'm going to try to get in one episode of either Luther or Longmire and then go to bed. So,
my vote.
Everybody, I believe that if you'll be honest with yourself and do these little tests where you're asking yourself honest questions and you date where you are today and then you start thinking about how can I improve in these areas, it's going to take time. You're going to get better in these little bitty increments, small increments, little bitty increments. But if you do it today, then you come back and you look April 1st, those little bitty increments, they compound, they get bigger and they get bigger. You can make some huge movements in your life in 3 or 4 months. But if you don't do it, you can fall off in just such a matter of a month or so. So everybody, I'm going to bed, but thank you so much for getting on here tonight. Really do appreciate it. Tune in every Thursday night with me and Brittany Rene, 7 o'clock. We call it Straight from the Gut.